Hello everyone, I am Phoenix Tremaine and this is my review of the Have and Have Nots season finale for season 3. And before I get started, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all my new subscribers as well as everyone who just follows me, likes my work. Hopefully you don't bitch about some of the things I say too much because I have had some pretty rude comments lately. But but hopefully you still watch anyway, whether you disagree with me or agree with me. But I think that you're gonna like this review because the have and have nots have finally paid off. Okay, so let's talk about this episode. The have and have nots is this season, second half of the season, has been basically what I call a bookend season. The first episode of the second half of the season, if you look at my review, you'll see I was so excited and I was happy, like, oh shit, Have and Have Nots has finally gotten good. They fixed the acting and they fixed the sound and the direction is better, and I was like praising the Have and Have Nots. But with each continuous episode, I was like, oh, this shit again. The acting's bad again. They're back to doing these long ass scenes. They're repeating the same shit over and over again. And I just got disappointed episode after episode after episode. And then being very predictable. So I had lots of issues with the Have and Have Nots in general. But I do not have an issue with this episode. So the episode starts off with Candace gets confronted by Benny and Hannah. Hannah won't stop. Hannah being Hannah, she's annoying as fuck. You burnt my house down. And when Candace's like, why would I burn your house down? I paid for it. And then she's like, well, it's still your fault because you brought Quincy into our life. So Hannah, this sanctimonious, hypocritical bitch, just continuously goes off on Candace. But Benny finally realizes that Candace is a liar, and she tries to show them that, her money, like, okay, I do have $7 million. I spent some of it, but I got $4 million in this account. And she goes to go into the account and shows them, and then her money's gone. So it doesn't take her long to realize that Oscar stole her money. So Benny is disgusted. He takes the paperwork because she gives him the deed that she paid for her house, she paid for his house, and she paid for the tow company outright. So they all own it. They own that shit. So Benny leaves like, I can't deal with you. I can't live in that house. Where the fuck they gonna live? I mean, really, it's not like they're rolling in money. So Benny and Hannah, they storm off and leaving, Candace alone to deal with the fact that her money's gone. And you don't fuck with a bitch's money or a man's money or a bastard's money or any of that. You just don't fuck with people's money. And then Jeffrey calls his soon-to-be boyfriend Wyatt. We know what's gonna happen. To let him know, hey baby, I got the car. I know where the car is. So Wyatt's like, all right, cool, man, I got you. Okay, we know where this is going. Then Veronica tells David to run. So David is still decided not to run because Jim is his best friend. So he's just going to stay the course. So Veronica comes in with her tail between her legs without apologizing. She takes him by the hand and she's like, just run. You deserve this. Don't let this opportunity go away because we're having problems. We'll fix these problems. And of course, David, being the lovesick pussy that he is, he's like, okay, I'll run. Basically, he's looking like, oh shit, my marriage is being back on the mend. And she's like, I didn't want to burn you up in the house because you tried to kill me, bitch. Well, he didn't say bitch, but that's what we were all thinking. And she's like, no, I just want you to burn a little. I wouldn't let you die. And he's like, oh, just kidding. So Veronica is totally trying to be the sweet little innocent thing, wanting her husband back, realizing he never cheated. Um, and Oscar, uh, rushes to see Candace because she's like, you stole my money. And he's like, well, you got my $500,000. And then so he rushes and he actually meets with Candace. And then he actually admits, yeah, I stole money after playing dumb for a while because, these things got to drag out for a little bit. He finally said, yeah, I took it, because you're dumb. You were never meant to hold on to that kind of money. It wasn't yours. So, Candace starts a fight with Oscar, and then looks like Oscar's about to rape Candace. And guess who saves Candace? Unlikely as it is, Quincy. Quincy comes in, starts beating the shit out of Oscar, and then he starts beating the shit out of Candace. So it's not necessarily that he tried to save her, is that he's like, nobody gets to kill this bitch but me. Or nobody's gonna rape and kill this bitch but me. So he just starts punching Candace in the face, and Oscar decides to get the fuck out of Dodge. And then Hannah gets the call. She got the kid. We all know this. I do feel that, Hannah should have tried to work something out with Candace where they, co-parent or something. I don't want to take your son from you. I'll take care of him and you can come in and be his mother and, we'll work something out. But of course, being a soap opera, I want it all. I'm not going to compromise, and we're going to fight for it. So Hannah gets the kid. Then Benny asks Veronica to come over to look over his legal papers, which we'll get to in a minute. Then Wyatt, okay, we'll get to it now. Wyatt says he wants to see the car, so him and Jeffrey go to the tow yard to see the car. And when they get there, he's like, what's my mother doing here? Jeffrey's like, what's my mother doing here? And so they go and they sneak around the back, and Veronica is telling Benny, this is over, it never was, we can't do this. Benny's like, oh, I had a hard day, just give me some. And he didn't use them words, but he's like, come on. Now, this is where I have a problem with the casting, and I mentioned this before. The actress is fine. I'm not going to say anything about her looks or anything like that. But Benny is hot. The actress playing Veronica is okay. But Benny is hot. And seeing Benny beg, plead, literally gets on his knees begging her for sex, and you're looking like, Benny can't find no pussy nowhere, Benny can't get no head. As fine as Benny is, there's a whole lot of people, women and men, that would, rush to fuck with Benny. And you got Veronica here saying, no. He's got an ex-girlfriend, something that, somebody he can fuck. Okay? He probably, friend finders, something. Adult friend finders, Craigslist, something. Benny can get some pussy on delivery. So, it's, if Veronica was hot, maybe if she was younger, it would be like, okay, I get it. She's hot. The pussy's good. He's begging for it a little bit. But begging Veronica for pussy? I'm trying to be nice. Lord knows I'm trying to be nice. So I'm going to move on. But Jeffrey and Wyatt come up to the window and see Benny on his knees, which we obviously alludes to him eating Veronica's pussy. And so Wyatt whips out his phone and starts recording it. So we know in season 4 that'll become an issue, that Wyatt has this tape that he can hold over Veronica head or whatever. We just used to expose her. Please don't drag it out. Um, so, so then they have a scene with Oscar, where Oscar finally meets up with David and gives him the portfolio that has all the information of where Jim's money is. And so it was revealed that two things were revealed. Oscar was working for David, and his real name wasn't Oscar. His real name is Brandon. So, David set Candace up, and Jim said he had something in the works. David said he had something in the works, so we knew one of them had hired Oscar. Because Oscar was just way too good to be true, and if you read the spoilers, they spoiled it like 4 weeks in advance that Oscar was going to steal Candace's money. Now, here's the thing that really burnt me, because it's like there are no main black male characters on this show that are like a fierce, rich, and powerful man. Okay? That is what David is supposed to be, the Harringtons. That's the other multi-million-dollar rich family. And there's no... He's supposed to be the opposite of Jim Cryer. Jim's supposed to, he's not what he's supposed to be from a soap opera perspective. He's such a pussy. And it makes me cringe to think that the most powerful man in the cast that's black has no balls. And this is how bad it is. Not only that Jim choked the fuck out his wife, and I know that she, had Wyatt raped and all this kind of stuff, but as much of a pussy as it is when it comes to his wife, he still gave Jim his money back. The $4 million that Candace spent $3 million, so the $4 million that was left. So when he gives him the folder with all the information about giving his money back, Jim didn't even know he was working on it. So he was just the type of friend that just went way above and beyond the call of duty for somebody, didn't even let the motherfucker know what he was doing. And then he's like, aren't you going to say thank you? Jim does not say one freaking word. Jim just looks at the door like, get the fuck out. So David looks at him like, okay, it's like that. So then David leaves like a little bitch. I would have snatched that motherfucking folder up so fast, like, you know what, you must not want this motherfucking money, bitch. What you gonna do, take it from me? What the fuck you gonna do, fight me? I would have took that fucking folder back, and if Jim had an issue with it, I would have beat his fucking ass, okay? Obviously, they've shown that David has just as many henchmen as Jim has. So if you want a fucking war, let's do this. That's how I would have wrote the damn scene. Okay, instead, like a little bitch, David walks the fuck out the room, and it's like Jim then proceeds to put out a hit on everyone, which he doesn't know this, but includes his wife. Okay, so there's been a hit put out on Veronica, and David doesn't even know. And the man who put the hit on to kill his wife, he just gave $4 fucking million to. What the fuck? So David gives Jim his money, then he gets dismissed. And then Wyatt tells Jeffrey that him and Jennifer have a deal that'll make them both safe. But the ending of this episode was everything in a bag of chips. I'm going old school. Yes, that's the kind of shit we used to say when I was younger. It's everything in a bag of chips. Now, I don't know if Tyler Perry and his writers went and watched The Sopranos, The Godfather, Scarface, they did a marathon, because the music along with what was happening during Jim's speech. Now, we all kind of figured that based on what Jim was saying, he was not conceding the race. So Jim then proceeds to talk about, and I think I said in my last video, how Jim was going to talk about he sinned, but, you know, he's great for the city. I think I said that's what he was going to say in the last video, and that's what he did. But